Donald Trump is putting in the work to win over women voters at a Fox News town hall in Georgia, focusing on the issues that matter most to them, like child care and reproductive rights.
You know, I gave you the largest tax cuts in the history of our country, okay? Larger than the Reagan cuts, larger. But my daughter, Ivanka, she said, Dad, we have to do tax credits for women, you know, for the child tax credits. And I got it just about done. Dad, you've got to double it up. I said, Ivanka, it was actually more complicated than the entire bill, but I got it done. I'm the father of IVF. We want fertilization, and it's all the way. And the Democrats tried to attack us on it, and we're out there on IVF even more than them. So we're totally in favor of it.
President Trump also trying to win over women by talking about lowering prices and cracking down on illegal immigration.
We have to get prices down because the damage is done. You know, when they say, well, we're stopping inflation because it went down now to 4.5%. Well, 4.5% is very high. But interest doesn't come down very much and you can't get the money. Look, it really happens if you make donuts. You have the stoves, you have the dish. Everything is evolved around energy. Sanctuary cities are really meant for one thing, to protect criminals. That's what they become. We're going to end all sanctuary cities in the United States, and we're going to go back to normalcy. And we're going to have law and order.
Well, we'll go to you as a woman, Jessica.
There are other women at the table.
What were you offended by? Let's hear it.
Okay, well, I'm glad that you asked. I was offended by him calling himself the father of IVF and then saying that Senator Katie Britt is young and fantastically attractive, as if that's relevant at all to her concerns about her friends who have used fertility treatments in order to become pregnant. I was offended by the fact that he was asked by a voter, why is the government involved in women's basic rights? And he answered with saying, I think it's great. For 52 years, all the legal scholars, the best legal scholars, Democrats, Republicans, both of them, have wanted to get rid of it. And that's what I've done here. That is not at all how the legal scholars feel or how the American populace feels. And to the questions about lowering the prices of things, again, no real answer. I'm glad I know more about how donuts are made or whatever was going on there. But I don't think anyone walked away from that thinking that he had any sort of empathy for what's going on in women's lives all over the country. I mean, he kicked it off, actually, by kind of laughing at the Amber Thurman story. There was, Harris brought up that the family had put out a prebuttal, and he laughs and he says, we're going to have higher ratings, which seems pretty cruel. You could use that moment to say, I am so sorry that that young woman, a mother of a 6-year-old boy, lost her life. And then if you want to go the angle of say it's the hospital's fault, actually no law should have allowed that to happen, that's one thing.
He should have said that the Democrats were lying about it.
It
would have been better because that is true.
Well, you shouldn't laugh and talk about ratings. I think we can all agree on that.
Well, we can agree that he blew it. He should have said,
okay, great, he blew it.
It's the Democrats have been lying about it, creating a completely false story.
We are the worst. I would also just like to say that it's getting a little exhausting to hear about Kamala's crisis with men constantly when Donald Trump's crisis with women is bigger and women vote in higher numbers than men do. That's what I feel, Jesse.
Okay, good. Would you like to say anything nice about the town hall, Judge?
Well, I would like to ask Jessica if she considers Ruth Bader Ginsburg a legal scholar. That's a yes or no question.
Well, I was going to say yes, and I know where you're going with it.
I'm glad you know. I'd like the viewers to know. Ruth Bader Ginsburg has always said that Roe versus Wade is not something that is protected, and abortions are not protected by the Constitution. Okay, so you can talk about all legal scholars.
Do you think Ruth would like what's going on?
Let me finish. Ruth Bader Ginsburg says it's not a constitutional issue, okay? So that throws out your all legal scholars. Second point, does everybody understand that Roe versus Wade did not protect third-term abortions? The original decision left that up to the states. So all Dobbs did was make the first 2 trimesters left to the state, just like the third trimester was left to the state by Roe versus Wade. Now, having said that, you're tired of the fact that Kamala's having more trouble with men and Trump is having trouble with women. You think that Kamala's in a better spot because women vote more. You may be right about that. But I'll tell you what, the most important issue for women is the economy, followed by abortion, followed by immigration. Who is strongest on the economy? You can make fun of Donald Trump, but he at least explains more than Kamala Harris that we are sitting on gold and energy. And when we've got energy and we don't have to buy it from other countries, that we can use it to build things, to use it to develop things, to drive cars, to heat our homes, to make stoves, all that other stuff, he makes more sense than Kamala just saying we need an opportunity economy. And finally, when women talk about immigration, when you put the economy and immigration together, it beats abortion by 32 points. So what you've got here are women, sure, they're concerned about abortion, but if they were educated a little more than just this crazy dictum that comes from the Democrat women, they would understand that a lot of this isn't protected as it is. But women want protection for their families. They want to go to the supermarket and not have to put things back on the shelves.
Can I just say super quickly? Like 2 seconds.
I don't think it's going to be quick.
It is going to be quick. There is no world in which Ruth Bader Ginsburg or anyone else who agreed about the lack of constitutionality thought that we would be dealing with 6-week abortion bans and no exceptions for rape and incest.
She said it is not constitutionally
And his lead on
protected.
the economy is down to 5 points.
This is not a women's town hall. This is the 5. Dana.
I'll weigh in just quickly. The gender gap is real, and President Trump needs to do better with women, and Kamala needs to do better with men. And that's why you've seen this, what's happening in the last week. Both campaigns know it. And if young women 18 to 29 years old turn out in the numbers that they did, like in the midterms in 2022, I mean, Trump could have problems, and that's why they know that they're out there trying to deal with that. But Kamala Harris is looking at a deficit with black men that Biden already was dealing with back in June before the switcheroo. So Trump has proven to be a strong closer in the past, like in 2016, 2020, obviously he didn't win. But in this year, we don't know how Kamala will close. We know what happened in 2019. She fizzled before there was one vote. So she's got a lot of work to do. I do think there's value in recognizing that women have a lot of issues that they want to vote on. But women who are only voting on a pro-choice issue, they're not movable. So that's not really who we're talking to right now.
Greg Gutfeld.
Yeah, I want to talk. I'm going to leave the lady issues to the ladies today, but I have to say that Katie Britt's not offended by a compliment. No one else should be. I mean, I can't get offended about somebody else's compliment. And also, I still think it's a sad state of affairs when the most important thing in a woman's life is abortion. Yep. And you may be upset when a man says that, but somebody's got to speak for the unborn children if you're not. All right, so I want to talk about the dudes. If you look at men, they're running away from Harris. Firemen, Teamsters, border agents, cops. They do their jobs because they see value in it. And when you tell them that you don't see value in it, in their mission, it kills their morale and they leave. And we're seeing that with cops who are ostracized. They can't get their recruitment numbers up. There were firemen that were held back during the riots. They couldn't put out fires. Border agents demonized in hoaxes about whips. There was what is it, 14? Well, let me see, 14 suicides, 15 suicides among the Customs and Border Patrol alone in 2022. The Border Patrol lost 4,000 plus personnel since 2020. That's 20% of the workforce. Now, if this were happening to a woman-centric profession, I'm not going to say which ones.
Figure skating.
Thank you. Figure skating. There would be loads of think pieces about how Trump is literally killing figure skaters in a toxic cloud of misogyny.
He'd be the Nancy Kerrigan of politics.
Republicans aren't saying women are bad. Democrats are saying men are bad, that men are the problem. And when you say that to men, they're going to go elsewhere. Have fun fighting the fires and illegal gangs with pronouns, because that's all you're going to get from Kamala.
It goes back to like Gillette with toxic masculinity.
Yeah, or
right?
Bud Light.
Like,
You're not going to. I mean, she should do a town hall with men. And when she starts talking to them like Miss Marianne from Romper Room, it'll be over in 5 minutes.
We're just saying that women are beautiful.
Yes.
Is that bad, Jessica?
Yeah.
No,
You're very
Wow.
attractive,
You're
Jessica.
very attractive. They go,
They're
okay.
like, get us out right now.
The 2024 sleeper issue. Donald Trump vowing to get men out of women's sports. Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.